She's hot, she's sexy, she's funny, and wow. Don't stop, get busy, we loving your style. It's just another chapter in life. Bought a new house after the night. No butlers and no maids. You gotta do your own thing your way. Go Kendra, go Kendra, go Kendra, go Kendra. You on your own now.
I rarely come out of commercial breaks crying, but this story truly moves me. We are talking today about a case of alleged child abuse. Child abuse that led to the death of a 6-year-old girl. It's a case that sickened so many of us here in this hardened city of New York and shocked people all across the nation. I will never forget the day that I was tuning into the news and heard this horrific story about the death of this little girl. Some of the things that were allegedly done to this child, no person, no dog should have to go through. And it just breaks my heart to think that there was no one around to bury that child. And thanks to some of the people you're going to meet here today who are in that neighborhood, in that housing project, that little girl got a decent funeral, but she didn't live a decent life. Her mother right now is awaiting trial for second-degree murder. The mother is Wilda Lopez. She claims that she is innocent. She blames her husband, Carlos Lopez.
I'm going to ask you right up front, did you or did you not murder Elisa?
I did not murder my daughter.
You did not?
No.
What happened that night that Elisa died?
She was like all like down, you know what I'm saying? Like this. I said, what's wrong, Elisa? And then she told me that she had a headache, right? So then I told her, I came and I told her, you want to eat? And then she didn't want to eat. She didn't want to eat. So then I told my son, my daughter, I said, to watch Lisa there until I finish, you know, making the plates for the other kids to eat.
Hold on one second. Many of us are going to hear this airplane going by. Rikers Island, let me explain to you, is located right next to LaGuardia Airport. We're not going to let these planes stop us because I think it's really important to hear what you have to say. But be aware, folks who are listening, that every once in a while you will hear a plane cross over here. You were just telling me about Elisa.
She was like squeezed her teeth, like going like that. So when I touched her, she was like getting cold, right? So then I came and I opened her mouth because my family get epileptic attack. So I came and I opened her mouth, right? I opened her mouth and I tried to give her mouth to mouth and, you know, pump her like that, but I don't know how to do, you know, CPR, but I tried the best I could have. So then our tears kept turning like cold and more cold and tightening her mouth more. So then I just kept on and pumping like that and breathing. And I was telling my son that, what can I do? Because I don't know what to do. And then I kept, you know, holding her and everything and just keep breathing inside her. I picked her up, I shaked her, everything, and nothing. So then I kept on, and then, you know, water was coming like out her mouth. When I would have pumped her like that, like water would have come out. So then I put my hand like that in her hand. I didn't feel nothing. I put my ear in her heart, and her heart wasn't beeping no more. And I told my son that she died. And then there, I just panicked. And then I came and I covered her up with the blankets and the quilts and everything, and I just kept drinking and drinking and saying she was going to come back alive, and she never did. Then the night I cooked and everything, then the night came, and then I slept. You cooked? Yeah, I cooked and everything for the kids. Mm-hmm. And then the night came and nothing. And then I still sleeping while I slept in the bed. Telling her she was going to come back alive, and she never did.
So for 2 days the baby lay there dead?
No, she died.
It was 2 days later?
The 22. She had the 22. Then the next day I called the police.
You called the police. Why didn't you call for help when the baby was in a situation where you were trying to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? I just find it so odd that a mother would get up and cook and not call for help.
You know, like I got scared and I said, oh my God, now she's dead. Now I'm going to go to jail.
Why would you go to jail if you didn't kill her?
But that's the way they were going to say that I did it. So
did you?
No, and I didn't kill her.
Who killed Elisa?
Like, Lopez had hit her, right? Like, before he went to jail.
You talking about Carlos?
Yeah. Before
How did he hit her?
He said that Lisa bit him in the hand, and he was hitting her. And then I went in the room and everything. I told him to stop already and everything, but he already had hit her.
Did you notice anything about her? Did you notice that anything was bleeding, that she had bruises, that anything was broken after he hit her?
No.
Because when they found her, they say that she had broken fingers. One bone was sticking right through her finger. They say that she had cigarette burns on her mouth, her head, her face, her body. They said she was sexually abused over a 7-week period, repeatedly penetrated with a hairbrush, both anally and vaginally. They say that her abdomen was swollen up because she had, indicating that she had internal injuries. And they say that the child had bruises everywhere, wounds in various stages of healing, indicating abuse over a long period of time. You as a mother, when you held that baby, rocked it in your arms for 2 days, you didn't notice that?
Like, I'm trying to explain to you, right? Like on Saturday night, right? Remember when I was telling you that
But just answer that question. Because I'm not a mother. But I can imagine if I picked up any baby who was in trouble, enough for me to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, enough for me to try to give CPR, enough for me to go for a pulse, to go for breath, that I would notice a bone sticking out of a finger. I would notice burns on a mouth. I would notice problems that looked like sexual abuse, especially if it was my child.
But she didn't, that was no burns what she had from cigarettes. That's what I'm trying to tell him. That's not no burns. She used to get like, I don't know how to say it in English. She used to get like these things in her body, like, and then she used to peel them off, and scabs used to come out. Okay. I'm trying to tell him that she never had no burns.
What about the broken finger?
She had like a split here, right? So then I told Carlos, right? And he said, no, that's only the split there that will cure. So I put alcohol, everything, peroxide. You know, I cleaned it for everything, and I put a Band-Aid there.
We did our research,
yeah.
Awilda. They tell us that Carlos was here at Rikers Island November 15th through March 4th because he violated parole after he stabbed you almost 20 times.
Yeah.
He was not out. He was inside. So some might deduct that he couldn't possibly have hurt or murdered Elisa because he was here, in jail.
I know he was in jail.
So how could he have killed Elisa if he was here in jail?
But he had hit her, right? He had hit her. But like I say, I know I didn't kill her. I know I didn't did it.
The reaction in the audience here, a lot of people are really upset with this. A lot of people's hearts are broken over this. Folks, there are 2,000 children in America who die at the hands of their parents and caretakers, and this show is dedicated to them. It is alleged that Awilda Lopez killed her daughter. And she contradicts what police say. She confessed to after the murder. She's going to contradict lots of things. We'll be right back.
Hello everybody, this is Goddess Kendra. Now, what I'm about to tell you in detail is disturbing, so if you are not one to be able to handle it, please leave. This is a story of horrific child abuse about a little girl named Elisa Izquierdo. Her date of birth is February 11th, 1989, and died on November 22nd, 1995, on the hands of her mother. Her mother's name was Awilda Lopez, and her father's name was Gustavo Incandero. He passed away on May 26, 1994, of lung cancer. On June 25th, 1996, Awilda Lopez pled guilty to second-degree murder of her daughter, Elisa. The following month, she was given 15 years to life, denied parole July 2018, and is not eligible again until July 2020. Okay, so this little baby was beaten to death. Her abuse began on August 1994. Her father was trying to take her back to Cuba, but unfortunately passed away of lung cancer. The judge allowed, so people were complaining about Elisa being abused. Teachers was writing letters and complaining. The father even said, "My daughter should not be with her mother. She's coming with abuse. She had vaginal bruising." On 1994, Judge Phoebe Greenhahn granted Awilda full custody after her father died. Now, Elisa was locked in a bedroom 24 hours a day, not allowed to use the bathroom. Mom stated Elisa was possessed by the devil. Yeah, a crazy bitch would say some shit like that, right? I'm sorry, my notes. Her head was used as a mop. She was forced to eat her poop. She was beaten with various objects, burnt, sexually assaulted with a hairbrush and a toothbrush, denied food, and was beaten by her half-siblings. On 11/15/1995, Awilda called her sister and said, "Elisa was like retarded on the bed. Some sort of fluid is leaking from her mouth and nose." This was brain fluid. Let's see my notes. I'm sorry, y'all. So the following day, on November 16, 1995, Wilda, whatever this bitch's name is, called her neighbor to view Elisa. She was dead. Her neighbor immediately called 911. Now, I don't know if this was to the police or to the neighbors, but she had confessed to throwing Elisa's head on a concrete wall on November 14th, 1995, which was 2 days before she called the popos. The neighbor called the popos. Now I'm going to read you the injuries. This bothers me, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is too much. Injuries: broken finger, bone was shown through skin, burns and cuts over head, body, and internal injuries, torn vagina and rectum. Her mother was sexually abusing her with a brush, which she was sticking it up her anus and sticking it up her vagina. So she was raping her daughter. If you know of any child abuse, call the National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453. Now, we all know Elisa's mother was an avid crack smoker, and she had mental illnesses. People have reported this fucking demon-ass bitch for abusing her daughter. This handsome young man was her father. Do you know that that stupid judge, Phoebe, whatever the fuck her last name is, Phoebe, let me see. Judge Phoebe Greenhaum denied him full custody of their daughter. CPS, the police, and the system failed this little girl. The moment that bitch would have said, "My daughter's possessed with the devil," and she'd have been shown up to school with bruising, her teacher at the Montessori school wrote the judge letters. The judge ignored all that. Prince Michael, one of her teachers, basically said, I have a scholarship for Elise until the 12th grade. This system failed this little girl. And this hurts my heart, dude. This hurts my heart. Elisa's birthday was February 11th, 1989. This little girl, if somebody would have done something for her, I know her father died, and that sucks. That really, really sucks. Would have been 29 years old. She was only 2 years younger than myself. And it's stupid in 2018. You have people getting their kids taken away, severed rights because their dog bit them or snapped at them. And then in Arizona, you have these evil white devils taking people's children away, severing their rights for bullshit, and then selling them to Mexico to be sex workers. This shit exists, you guys. How could someone do this to any child? It doesn't matter what hue, what race, or what nationality. How could someone do this to a child but their own fucking child? This makes me extremely angry. And I don't understand why they didn't give this bitch the death penalty. She tried to blame it on her husband who killed her daughter, but the nigga was locked up. Bitch, you're fucking lying. Then if you heard the audio, because I watched the Rolanda watch show, she tried to say that there was a man who came into her home. Bitch, if a motherfucker came into my home right fucking now, even while I'm recording this motherfucking video, I would lose my life to protect my kids and not have my kids come out here. So you're telling me a whole motherfucker could come into your fucking house and you not do anything? When the girl became cold and stiff, she just put her in the bed. She had been drinking all that day. She cooked food. Oh, by the way, this fucking human breeding bitch, Miss Lopez, has 5 other kids. How do you think those children feel, including stepchildren? And then the stepfather, Mr. Lopez, would take a part in this abuse and would allow his children to hit this innocent little girl. You've got to be fucking evil. Like, I can't even call these motherfuckers mother and father. This shit hurts me. But I can say one thing. And you might say you're fucked up. I am glad little Elisa is not alive anymore and had to endure that torture and pain from her mother, her stepfather, and her half brothers and sisters. I'm glad that her soul gave out. I wish this bitch eternal damnation. I wish that all the African ancestors, especially Papa Legba, tortures this motherfucking bitch and she dies. She doesn't deserve to be alive. I don't know why in the fuck they didn't put this bitch on death row. She still gets to eat. She still gets to do all these things and breathe life, but her baby is gone. And little Elisa reminds me of one of my Afro-Latina cousins when we were fucking little. This is sick. This is sick, people. Her community failed her. The teachers failed her. Anybody that saw this little girl every day, it is by law that your children have to go to school. This little girl wasn't going to school for months and months and months. So you're telling me nobody will call the police. Nobody will call the police and say, I hear a girl being tortured in there. You're telling me that's not my business? It takes a village to raise fucking kids, people. I don't give a fuck if every night I heard my neighbors beating their kids. I'm gonna call the police. I'm going to fucking help. But to fail a child who had a potential to be great? I know her father is turning in his coffin like, man, I died and my baby was being tortured. This man learned everything about feeding and changing diapers. His family and his coworkers were helping him. He loved his daughter so much, but the bitch who popped her out didn't give no motherfucks about her own goddamn kid. This is sick. This bothers me that nobody did more to help this little girl. They failed her. People who do not have fucking children, that want children every day, cannot have children, would do anything to have children. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Please share this video. Call CPS.